fans celebrate at the side of Kudafuti's, Ratton and Bradley in the middle with Mark Porter. Let's look forward to the big start.
And James Riley has the job of picking up Scott Camporelli, one of their big guns, and King just exerting some influence. That centre bounce is going to be so important today. Porter, the Alfred Deakin medalist from last week's big game. So King versus Porter is going to be so important, and this man has to be stopped if the Cats are to win this game. James Riley, the man on the mark, has got the job. Goes short and finds Lappin. Still inside the centre square. Silvani's on a lead. That's been ignored. He goes long. In front was Whitnell. Too much carry on the ball. Spriggs was manhandled. Hume always at the bottom of the pack. Here's a chance. Houlihan runs into an open goal. And he has missed.
Well, that's a great start for the Blues, Doug, because the centre clearance are all important, aren't they? We've seen some pretty wayward kicking in some of the other matches this weekend, so that was one I'm sure Mr. Britton would have loved to nail there.
No doubt about that, Fish. Just watching here at the moment, Kudafuti's has been picked up by Darren Milburn.
That's what we'd like to see, some big bombs from Graham, but well read this time by Whitnell. Needs a really good game. Goes to the square and kicks a goal. Oh, what a start.
That's a fantastic. Well, you know, KB, you mentioned the long bomb. They can work for you and they can work against you. You've really got to pick your target. Of course, Whitnell being amongst the defenders in the zone there, that's a tricky one. King just didn't quite get to the contest we could see.
Doug, there was some thoughts. Sorry, Fish. There was just some thoughts last week. He was starting to find his feet in the last quarter against Collingwood.
Yeah, certainly was no doubt about that. And his opponent's Graham.
Great start by the Blues, 1-1-7. The Cats have lost their past 4 games, and there's Porter. Just went before acceptances. Riccardi got a heavy bump from Camporelli, tied up by Hume. Plenty of physical pressure in the clinches, and we've got a ball up, still inside the centre square.
The Cats are going to have the work cut out in the middle today. It's been an area of their game that's been a bit down of late, so they come up against some of the best in the business, though.
No doubt about that.
Beaumont's got the job of picking up Mensch. Centre bounce and around the ground is going to be so important. King, the All-Australian ruckman last year. Porter, much improved player for the Blues. Spriggs, just a roll of the shoulders to Murphy, to Scholl, duck the head. Carlton tackling very, very ferociously. Here's a chance again. Murphy dispossessed. Raleigh caught one high. Wasn't seen, or was it? Yes. Good umpiring. From the edge of the centre square. Moved off his mark, put himself under a lot of pressure. Chance now to come away, and that was from Harley, and he finds Riccardi, who tries to drill it. It's a poor kick. Hume, loose ball. Riccardi, take 2. Second chance, second effort. Again, a shocking handball, and Freeborn cleans up across half-back, goes wide, and finds Whitnell, whose confidence will be high. Silvani on a lead in front of McGrath. Forced under the ball, McGrath. Silvani did it well, kicked it off the ground. Chance for Lappin. Danger here for the Cats. Lappin taken to the ground. King working back in defence. Graham drills it, finds James Riley, and the run comes from Kilpatrick. Edge of the centre square to the half-forward line. The danger man, Ronnie Burns. And guess who's picking him up? Franchina, the #1 stopper for the Blues. McKay had it, lost his footing. It was good hands in the end. Christou didn't quite find his target. Bradley, the playmaker, sets it up. Long raking handball. The run comes from Porter to McKay. Edge of the centre square to centre half forward. In front, he's got it. Whitnell.
Oh, it's great work.
He looks dangerous.
He does early. A couple of early turnovers there by Riccardi. A sign of a man a little bit rusty on it. He'll get better as the game wears on.
Loose player wide. That's Beaumont. And he'll set it up and finds Houghton.
Very unusual, Fish, to see a player of the calibre of Peter Riccardi turn the ball over by foot and then by hand. I mean, it's very unusual. Bit off banging the ball long into your forward line.
Absolutely. That's one of his real weapons, that's for sure.
Trent Houghton is a jack of all trades for the Blues. He's also a goal kicker.
Well, what a terrific start here by Carlton. Geelong had their chances. It's a minute ago to go inside 50 with Peter Riccardi, who just touched on before, but turned the ball over. We see Beaumont, who I think only a minute ago, KB mentioned the fact he's got the job on David Mensch, who Mensch is playing at centre half forward, who's probably caught 40 metres away from his opponent on that occasion. So lot more harder work there from David Mensch.
Great start by the Blues, 2-1-13. The Cats yet to score, and Porter this time jumps over the top of King. Bradley pumps the ball inside 50. So the back line for the Cats look like they might be under pressure today. Sanderson did well to bring the ball out towards Scholl. Firstly does a 360 and pinpoints it to Kilpatrick. Loose player wide. King is having a fantastic season. Kicks the ball long to the forward line. McKay at the back. The big fist. Danger man. Ronnie Burns can kick a goal. It was a check side kick. He's got no right side whatsoever. And puts it through for a behind.
Look, as clever as Ronnie Burns is, you just got to wonder. You've mentioned his right side. You just got to be able to use it in those situations. But we know how dangerous he can be, and we know he can do the impossible. But it's a shame there because the Cats had a golden opportunity.
Well, there's not many times you see good left footers who can kick well on their right foot.
True, KB.
Beaumont playing on Mensch from half back. They can raffle it. Bingo. Lucky number 21, Bradley. And great smother off the boot. Riccardi did it well. I thought he was caught high. There was no free kick. Loose ball. Camporelli got an ugly bounce. Spriggs crashed into that time by Lappin. Look at Camporelli. A second effort. The kick again was a poor one. Milburn's scrappy old kick. The kicking's been disgraceful so far. Hocking. Can he settle things down? Graham to Mensch. It's marked in front of Christou.
We've got to play it down. It looks like Riccardi on the outer wing there, KB. He's a little bit...
Houlihan. He was looking for Baldwin. They've brought Kent Kingsley and Marcus Baldwin into the side today as we see that ball still kept in play. And maybe the chances are they'll have a crack on the forward line together during this course of this game.
Gee, I think Riccardi's more than just winded.
He's gone. You're right, Fish. He's gone.
Lappin from half back to the half forward line. Numbers here. Hume, he's quick, keeps the ball alive. McGrath runs the ball over for a toss back in.
Well, I tell you, if Geelong wanted to test today, Doug, they've just got it, because if Riccardi's coming off...
Baldwin's a big player playing at full forward on Glenn Manton. Let's have a look here. There's a clash of heads with Porter.
Look, having had a, I don't want to fear the worst, but having had a depressed fracture of the cheekbone, that looked pretty ominous.
That right eye.
Whitnell with strength. Loose ball, Scholl. It was a wild kick. Comes off Milburn. It was a look away handball. Put Kilpatrick under a lot of pressure. Hocking with those great hands. Rockets the ball wide. It was a high floating handball. Closing quickly was Koutafides. Camporelli very lively early in the game. Goes wide. Hickmott playing against his old club was caught. And finally forced over, and Milburn quizzically looks at the umpire.
There's the Riccardi here. You caught it right, Fish. You caught it right. That cheekbone looks ordinary, doesn't it?
It looks like he's been pushed in there, and it's hard to tell. We'll keep our fingers crossed for him. Let's hope he's okay.
Boundary throw in. Koutafides doing the ruck work. Pinched by Spriggs to Clark. A couple of young guns for the Cats combined. Pumps the ball back, and Ronnie Burns has chipped in. A very good grab. Marks in front of Porter.
Sometimes you wonder whether there's a lack of torque going to those contests. Porter really needed to go back a little bit harder. He may have thought he had more time and space.
Well, he's kicked 16 goals for the season, Ronnie Burns, and he's so important today. As we say, unless Marcus Baldwin, who kicked 3 goals with his first 3 kicks in round 21 last year, when he came off the bench against Melbourne, unless he can fire up at full forward. He was put on the rookies list. Now he's being brought back into the action.
I just reckon now, boys, with Riccardi off the ground and the Carlton dominance in their midfield, Gary Hocking started forward with McKay picking him. I reckon Gary Hocking now has to go onto the ball in their midfield for Geelong.
Speak of the devil, Hocking roving that magnificently. Puts it over the line for a boundary throw-in.
Well, we spoke about a Fish, didn't we, a bit earlier about Gary Hocking. Is his days on the ball numbered? He's been playing a lot more now up on the forward line, but now with Riccardi's off, I just reckon you may have got to chuck him into those centre bounces as well.
Well, he's a true champion, Doug, and you expect him to respond to situations like this. Peter's looking at all sorts of bother there, so... Well.
Chance for the Cats. Boundary throw-in. Just 10 metres round, and Ratton's put it out on the full.
Well, it looks like he got a bit of a nudge there just before he made contact, and it's not like Brett. He'd be very disappointed with that one. It's a free shot for the Cats here.
Kilpatrick.
What are you going to about the boomerang kick or a left footer? I'd go around the left foot here, I would.
He's a good striker of the ball, Kilpatrick. He's a very smart player. He'll exhaust every option before he takes a shot, as we can see him doing now.
Have a shot now, Have a shot now.
So the crowd is getting restless.
He should be creeping around just inside the boundary if he could, as much as he could.
Looks like a check side kick.
No.
Through for a minor score.
Well, so many players, you see, so many players have success with that particular, well, execution of that particular skill done
they
nowadays.
do.
But we're going to have a look at, there's Peter Riccardi. Let's have a look at another angle of the clash here, and it's heads.
Oh,
and that's flush, and that's not good.
Oh.
That's a big blow for the Cats because Peter Riccardi, just one of their best players. In front, Koutafides over the top. Whitnell stood his ground. Murphy sees the ball back over the line. So a big blow to the Cats. Their prime mover, Peter Riccardi, is off. It does look like he's got a cheekbone problem.
Don't players just seem to have a run of bad luck sometimes?
Yeah,
You know, Nick Holland for Hawthorn at the moment having a run. Riccardi seems to be having a run, and they're great players.
Blues by 11 points. Mensch on the stretch over the top. Murphy at the bottom of the pack. Someone else with a clash of heads there too. Brett Ratton.
Well, he doesn't mind clashing his head, KB. He's always under there underneath it, isn't he?
Pretty tough in here. He's hard and tough. He's in trouble there. I think you're right, KB.
Well, he used to wear contact lenses. He doesn't wear contact lenses anymore, so he can't lose it because he's had the operation. King. Kilpatrick. Winning the ball in this first quarter. Mensch was held momentarily. Paddles the ball long in front. Houlihan was over the top. So's Freeborn. Pile drives Clark into the ground.
Just watching the Hocking match-up here, Fish, too, with McKay. McKay, we know quite well, starts a lot. They'd run off the half-back line. Gary Hocking is just dragging him deep into the goal square at this stage.
It's a good ploy.
Yeah, no doubt.
McKay can be very dangerous with his penetration off half-back. He's got great skills, and he's a very, very intelligent footballer.
Ball up on 50. The Blues by 11 points. Koutafides. Hume. Koutafides, a one-grab player, magnificent. Must pick the ball up first grab. He does it well. And there he is, just demonstrating that skill again. Freeborn around the corner to Lappin. So take a bow there, Anthony Koutafides. Whitnell can't quite keep the ball alive. Boundary throw-in on 50 for the Blues.
He is fantastic in that area, Koutafides, and Lance Whitnell's already started in ominous fashion, so Ben Graham will have his work cut out. It's an interesting matchup, very mobile is Whitnell.
And Milburn has matched up on Koutafides as well. Boundary throw-in, King. It's a fine young player. Scholl, some run from half-back to space. Houghton. Hitting it hard was Hocking. Eyes only for the ball. Magnificent play by Gary Hocking. He might lack a little bit of leg speed these days, but there's nothing wrong with his courage.
Also an interesting little as a replay. He goes in hard, doesn't he? But the boys Houlihan are playing on one another at the moment, Ryan and Adam. So a bit of family warfare out there today. Won't hurt the game.
Buddha Hocking. Too far out to score. Mensch has to go. Couldn't take it. Baldwin smothered off the boot. Chance for Raleigh. Just paddling the ball long. Wild handball. Baldwin keeps the ball alive. Clever play. Milburn on 50. A bit of magic. It's a great kick to the square, getting back. Whitnell. Well, he's everywhere. Lance Whitnell. Hugging the boundary line. Looking for Koutafides. And he's got it.
That's Whitnell's fourth mark already in this game, KB.
The run comes from Ratton. Silvani. It's a great pick up. He did it well. Numbers went out for the Blues, and Ratton, great grab. Houlihan's going to run into an open goal and kicks it.
That was a great finish by Houlihan there, and a great piece of penetrating play down the wing there. Started with Whitnell deep in defence, transferred it along the boundary line to Koutafides to Ratton, and very convincing football. The Cats just caught on the hop on the transition there, Doug, where the defenders weren't in position and the Carlton players running towards goal always look dangerous. So Houlihan, a great start there, great finish, 1 goal to him.
Blues by 17 points. Their goal kickers, Whitnell, Ryan Houlihan and Houghton. The Cats yet to score a major. Scholl put his body on the line. Spriggs is quick. Good vision. Milburn needs a kind bounce and gets one. Scholl runs hard, trying to make the numbers. The kick was a poor one. Murphy, game playing against his old side, gets the booze and finds Scholl. He's outside of 50. It's a kick to the square. Baldwin is getting back. Was he dragged down? There was no free kick to Baldwin. We've got a boundary throw in.
Sure, that was an interesting one. He worked hard for it. The umpire was behind that piece of play there, so difficult to call from where he was. But Glenn Manton was renowned for his close checking, isn't he?
I think you're right, KB. I think it's a free kick there on that occasion.
20 metres around from the Cats' goal. Mooney just gave Porter a shove out. They're so good in close, the Blues, aren't they?
Yes.
Hume and Ratton, those players, and Camperelli. But here's a chance. Scholl on 50, concedes ground and finds Murphy.
Well, he thought about it there. His left foot's not penetrating enough to have a shot, so the options weren't on coming towards him. Had to double back.
Penetrating kick, Baldwin in front. Manton over the top. And the spoil sees the ball over the line for a boundary throw in.
Well, of course, i7sport.com.au has all the results, all the stats, all the information you need. So log on and find out everything you need to know about the round of footy.
Blues by 17 points. Mooney and Porter. Ratton. Always at the bottom of the pack. Koutafidis looks really sharp today. Hickmott. They'll share it around. McKay to Camperelli to Whitnell.
Been too good, hasn't he?
Well, he's taken 4 marks.
That's his fifth.
Yeah.
Make that 5 now. Silvani's the target. Kick dropped short. And this man, Stephen King. I think we'll find him building the wall today. Across half back. He's got to get back. Buddha Hocking out wide. Bradley. Brought down by Buddha. And look at Bradley.
Yeah.
Looking at the umpire.
Free kick, yep.
I don't want to get too romantic on you fellas, but the side of Hocking and Bradley going one-on-one is it's fantastic, isn't it? We've seen so much of it over the years.
Bradley is on the centre wing. Straight back over the line. So the umpire pinged him. McKay, edge of the centre square to Freeborn. Danger here for the Cats. Freeborn bends it back. Not enough. Through for a minor score.
The early trend suggests that Carlton are working very hard back into Geelong's defence. They're shutting down the holes and the options that Geelong have going forward. Hence, Geelong's rushes or thrusts forward have been a little bit haphazard. Whereas on the transition, Carlton have got lots of space.
You're right, Fish. Yeah, I just reckon too, Fish. They're going inside 50 a fair bit, Geelong. But I always felt at the start of the game they had trouble finding their goalkeepers to win the game for them.
Sloppy play then by the Cats.
They had plenty of footy going inside 50. Sorry, Kev. Yeah, plenty of ball going inside 50, Fish, I reckon, the Cats. But there's Houlihan coming from the ground at this stage for Geelong. On comes Paul Chapman.
Hickmott. Beaten by Raleigh. Was that Harley? Harley it was at the bottom of the pack.
Well, it's a pretty tight contest, isn't it? You want to see some. We're seeing some good signs from Carlton. Not great signs early from Geelong, because they're looking up and they have possession, trying hard to find the right option, and yet having to work pretty hard for any chance. Look at goal they're getting.
Koutafidis, you can see on screen there with Milburn, like 2 old goats pushing against one another. Silvani. It's an amazing comeback. Sanderson was all tied up, good enough to get the ball away. Beaumont on centre wing, measures the kick inside 50. Koutafidis on the stretch, beaten by Harley. So the Cats are looking for some rebound, but I must say the Carlton 4 line is applying a lot of pressure. Spriggs from half back. King's going to be the target. Didn't get a chance at the second grab. Pounced on by Ronnie Burns. Off and running. Ronnie Burns backs himself in. Runs to 50. Ronnie Burns, great kick.
Brilliant to go.
Touched on the line. Wonderful individual effort by Ronnie Burns. And we may have to see many of those individual efforts today, because he's booted 16 goals and he really does look the only one might be capable of tearing this Carlton defence apart.
Oh,
look at that
so
goal
close.
umpire right on
Right
the line.
spot.
McKay got back. Whitnell playing in front. He always does that. Puts the big frame on the line. Freeborn. He's been run down. That's by Chapman, who's just come off the bench. Bradley wobbles the kick inside 50. Koutafidis.
What a grab.
He's been threatening in this game. He's done some very nice things so far. He's had the ball 5 times. He's taken 2 marks.
Well, just watching their fish with the Ronnie Byrne situation. He was going to handball. I thought the handball was on early to Brad Shaw. When Shaw realised that handball wasn't going to come, he come across and put a good shepherd on to allow Ronnie Burns to find an extra 5 metres. But the kick, of course, just fell short.
Well, Ronnie's unpredictable with the ball in his hands
He
at
is.
times.
Oh, you don't
so
going to give it out or not.
Teammates have to accommodate. But, you know, we've already seen a better contest given to by Ben Graham to Lance Whitnell. It's a positive sign.
He's good at 9 goals for the season. It's a shocking kick. Be lucky to score.
I just touch on the Whitnell match-up with Graham. I reckon maybe try a Harley, as you said. He's probably a little bit quicker than, of course, Graham over those 5 or 10 metres, where Whitnell at this stage seems to be a little bit too quick for him.
Certainly covering a lot of ground, Whitnell.
He is. Yeah, he's worked hard.
Koutafidis on screen. 5 possessions. Raleigh comes away from half-back. There was Koutafidis again in front. His partner in crime, Ange Christou, kicks a high ball. Hume did well to get a fist of the ball. Overrunning it was Lappin. Hume again burrows in for the ball. Raleigh's over the top. So Spriggs got a ball up.
Yeah, one thing you really notice with the modern game, the players really keep their feet well, keep themselves in the contest. Hume there was 3-on-1, but...
What do you mean the modern game? Don't you think we kept our footing in the olden days?
When we went around,
10 pins.
We had stops in our boots in those days.
Me and KB back in the 60s, you're kidding, aren't you?
Never once fell over, did we, Doug?
No, we never.
Dear, suffering from Alzheimer's, of course.
We had the old hammer out fish, just to nail them in.
Sanderson, now that'll be 50. It was a clean mark.
Oh, yeah.
I must admit, it was a sweeping statement I made. Not all players went to ground in those days.
We had black and white telly too when we were going around.
You see there, Silvani must have thought the ball was touched. He's given away 50. Sanderson long into the forward line. Good grab taken by Spriggs. Better judgment.
Just read the flight of the ball better than the pack there, and just goes to show your eyes are on it. You pick it up early enough, and you remain in the contest. As we have a look on replay here, all the high flyers went up, and only one man was interested really in the ball.
He'd be only about 5'8" in the old terms too, 5'9".
Credit to him there.
Remarkable young player.
Well, Norwich Rising Star last year nomination. It's been a fine pickup.
They need this goal, don't they, KB? Got to kick this one.
Just the 1 goal for the season, 45 metres out. Important kick for the Cats, and he's missed.
It's a bit of an epidemic this weekend. I've seen a fair bit of football, and not a lot of it has been impressive in front of goal so far. But we don't want to jinx the game, of course. But they're critical goals to get, aren't they, Doug?
Full-time footballers on a beautiful day can't kick goals from 40 metres out directly in front.
Not like the old days.
And there he is, Buddha hocking, magnificent. Now let's see if an old timer can put one through, Paul.
That's right.
Well, being one myself, KB, I'm certainly going to back Buddha in here. What a great champion he's been. His form's been a little down. Pass it off.
Unselfish play.
Old head.
Personally, I would have had a shot.
You would have shot from centre back.
You're kidding, Kev. Don't set us up like that.
KB never fell over. Always gave it off.
Mensch. From 45 metres.
He's kicked it.
He doesn't like it, though.
Nah.
He kicked it right off. The point was his objective. He kicked it. Good to see Ange Christou back in the lineup and playing league footy.
You're right, yep.
Carlton's really missed him over the last couple of years.
5 straight behinds by the Cats. 6 scoring shots to the Blues, 3-3-21. Koutafidis looks so dangerous today to Ratton. It's the run of the Blues which is troubling the Cats. To Bradley, the playmaker, sets it up, goes long. Silvani's going to take the front position. And out manoeuvres Tim McGrath.
He is so good at that one-on-one situation, isn't he, Doug? He knows it. He thinks he's a backman sometimes when he plays forward. He's in their brain. He knows McGrath was caught under it. had to try and find him, and he was elusive enough to step around him.
Bit stiff McGrath, wasn't he? I mean, he was caught under, you called that right, Fish. He was caught under it. Very unlucky McGrath then.
Silvani pops it through. 4-3-27 the Blues. The Cats 5 behind.
Well, it's always going to happen to you. You go forward only once, like Carlton have. We see him, Hume, one of their good midfielders. Bradley kicked the ball nice and long. We saw Geelong have 2 shots on goal. I think it was Young Spriggs and Hocking passed the ball over to David Mensch. They missed their opportunity. They kicked 2 points. They go forward once and they kick a goal. I mean, it's going to do it all the time.
The Blues by 22 points. Just over 2 minutes left in this first term. The Cats trying to turn it around. They've lost the last 4 games. Buddha Hocking working hard now inside that centre square. Peter Riccardi's off. We think with maybe a badly injured cheekbone. Houlihan has already kicked a goal. Hickmott was very strong overhead. He was pulled off the ball by Tom Harley. Must take the free kick. Silvani again on the lead. Whitnell's there. Silvani on the stretch. He's been paid the mark.
Oh, he's got
Did he hold it?
in the back, KB.
In the back. Goes short. He's looking for Camporelli. Coming in strongly then was McGrath. That's a ball up. 35 metres out from Carlton's goal.
Well,
Whack of the year, I think.
I'm not so sure about that. I mean, his intention was certainly the arms, the ball, but Silvani had the momentum in front.
King, too big and strong. But the kick's been marked by Bradley. He's right on 50.
Can you kick it from here, Doug?
No, I don't think so, Fish. Just a little bit beyond him here. There he goes to the torpedo.
Playing game number 339 today. He's booted a couple of goals for the season. He's going to set it up short and finds McKay.
Well, he's square of McKay, but he's no closer. But
Yeah, I'd like McKay probably more than Bradley Fish from that distance. Then again, he's not a real huge kick either, McKay.
Well, he's kicked 27 goals in his career. McKay, right to the line.
Free kick, I think, KB.
Free kick. Graham on the rebound. Time clock ticking away. Just around about 30 seconds left. The Cats, can they get their first goal? Kilpatrick's marked 55 metres out. Half a minute left in this first quarter. Baldwin. He'll take the free kick, not the mark. He was dragged down.
Play on.
look, that is a good sign for Marcus. He just held and held as long as he could until he saw Kilpatrick's eyes. He really should have taken the mark, but he's lucky to get away with a free kick. And that's what Geelong has to do from defence. They have to be quicker through the midfield, and they just have to give their forwards some space to give them any chance today. And this guy, Marcus Baldwin,
Kick the goal.
needs to kick this goal, because as the same in the old days, Kev, goals win games.
Yep.
That hasn't changed.
Baldwin off the rookies list, bangs it through.
Well, that's a good confidence boost for Marcus Baldwin. As I said, the transition from the back line right through the midfield was great. Ben Graham, and of course on the end of it, Marcus Baldwin there. And Glenn Manton, well, he always lets his opponent know that he's given a contest and a positive finish. That's what the Cats needed.
Well, we said before the start of the game, in round 21 last year, he came off the bench and booted 3 goals with his first 3 kicks. So if they can get it down to Marcus Baldwin, obviously he's a very straight kick. Just 10 seconds left. You would think no time to score. Tied up that time, Porter against King.
Well, inside 50, KB. Carlton 16, Geelong 10.
Very good opening quarter by the Blues. 4-3-27. The lead by 16 points. The Cats 1-5-11.
Yeah, it's a good start to the Blues there. Made the most of the opportunities and some good early signs from players such as Bradley, Whitnell for one, and of course Ratton's had a fair bit of the ball already. So, well, Geelong will go to the huddle and identify a few players they have to try and at least shut down. Crichton, there's Buddha Hocking, he'll encourage his teammates. I know how important this game is to them. After 4 losses, they need to get 4 points on the board, and a very important late goal there to young Marcus Baldwin. really looking forward to making a constructive contribution to this team.
No
Doug.
doubt, Fish. They're just going to kick goals, Fish. When they go inside 50, we saw Spriggs missed an easy one. Mench as well. See Crackers Keenan on the screen coming out here. Of course, the ruck coach now down at Geelong. They've got to get their goals. They've got to get the opportunities because Carlton will punish you every time you make a blue.
Certainly will, Doug. A great day for football and a pretty hot start to this game. It is Carlton by 16 points. We're back after the break. The MCG.
And that's been by David Mench. Cameron Mooney hasn't taken a mark yet. Or Marcus Borwin. He's had 7 touches. Craig Bradley been terrific. But they've got to get some marks up in their forward line without Jason Mooney playing as well.
Start of the second quarter. Carlton 4-3-27. Lead the Cats 1-5-11. King has been getting his hands on the ball. He's had it 7 times. He's taken 2 marks as well. And Porter, his opponent, hasn't had a kick yet. He's had 2 handballs. Stephen King, good player for the Cats in that first quarter. Spriggs going in very hard, has it all tied up. First quarter, obviously, Camporelli with 6 possessions, very important. Ratton also with 7. Craig Bradley also with 8. So those 3 midfield players, when they start to get it 24, 25 times in a quarter between them, spells trouble for the opposition. And of course, Peter Riccardi has left the field in the first quarter, with what looked to be a badly damaged cheekbone after he clashed with Mark Porter. There's the bench there. We see Michael Mansfield, such a great player for the Cats.
Yes.
Played some wonderful games for him in a couple of losing grand finals. Murphy streams through the centre square. That's a wonderful kick. And he finds Kent Kingsley, who kicked 6 goals on debut back in 1999 with the Kangaroos. He's come off the bench to start this second quarter.
This will test him.
Is he going to be the spark that the Cats badly need? And Koutafidis forces it through for a behind.
Well, he knows his capabilities, young Ken Kingsley, and he didn't quite get onto that, Doug. He backed himself. He was confident, so we'll give him that. But well, an opportunity goes begging.
We've just got to kick him again, Fish. They have plenty of opportunities inside 50, the Cats. Just got to kick him.
Well, they're looking for a spark, aren't they? Whether it comes from Baldwin or Kingsley, the 2 guys playing their first game for the season. They can both kick goals. If they can stand up and give some sort of focal point up forward, just might lift the spirits. But they've just got to stop the movement of the ball from the Blues, as we see Lappin pumps it down, and Whitnell's going to take an easy mark. 40 metres out. He's on a 45-degree angle.
Good work off the ball by Silvani then. He just held McGrath back, which allowed Whitnell to back in to take that mark. Good play by Bradley. Terrific play by him.
Well, he knocked up another couple of positions in that passage of play, but he's a fantastic link man, and Whitnell going to convert.
Going for his second goal of the game.
Oh,
he has nailed it.
Well, Doug, what do you do? We've already seen Whitnell. He's dominating this game as a forward for the Blues. They're giving Ben Graham, their skipper, every chance.
I'd move Ben Graham off him. I'd probably play Ben Graham back at full back on maybe Silvani and maybe give McGrath a go. Probably a little bit quicker over 5 metres. They're going to stick with Ben Graham, the skipper. So it's a big job for him today. He's kicked 2 goals, Whitnell.
Lance Whitnell has booted 2 goals and is arguably the best player on the ground. He's taken 6 marks and 7 possessions. We've still got just under 18 minutes left in this second quarter. 33 plays 12. Bradley is working hard. Scholl through the centre square to the half-forward line. Christou stood his ground. Chapman beaten by Ronnie Burns. A bit of magic. Again, can't kick on his right foot. And for such a wonderful player, it seems a basic skill that Ronnie Burns just hasn't been able to put into his game. And he's limping as well.
Bit proppy.
And you're going to kick the ball 10 metres there on your right side of the body. I mean, it's pretty simple, isn't it?
And here's Clark in the foreground there as another option, but a wasted opportunity again. The problem with Ronnie Burns, I mean, his opponents do work him out. I mean, in terms of his right side capabilities, and I play him in such a way. On that occasion, it had no such impact his opponent, but that's twice already today.
Now there's going to be a report here. Ronnie Burns is going to be reported. Is he by umpire Hayden Kennedy? Did he get the book out? He looked like he was going to get the book out. Now, yes, he's going to have a look. What number are you, Franchino? Number 45. So there's been a report
Didn't quite see what that was for.
The ball went over the line out of bounds, and all of a sudden we saw a player go to ground. So that might be a double blow with Riccardi off with a cheekbone problem. Porter to take the free kick at half back. Now we might just have a look what takes place here. There's Ronnie Burns and Franchina there, number 45. And I think maybe one in the solar plexus, to look like there.
Look like a short, sharp one, mate.
And picked up by umpire Hayden Kennedy, so he paid the free kick, and there's been a report.
Look, the last thing you want is undisciplined acts at this point of the game. If there are 4 goals down.
Kingsley pumps the ball back towards the half-forward line. Baldwin's got to go hard. Christou. They concede ground. Hickmott to Bradley. Just sizes up the situation, gives it to his partner in crime in Ratton, who pumps the ball wide, looking for Hume, got an ugly bounce. Clark to Murphy. They'll share the ball around Kingsley. Looked okay since coming off the bench at quarter time. Spriggs had it and lost it. Kilpatrick squeezed up on the boundary line, and Ronnie Burns takes a slips catch. He's right on 50.
Good
and
kick.
Buddha Hocking is going to mark it.
Oh.
Now, is that 50?
Well, I wouldn't think it should be. He was in the contest, Chris Sue, but didn't have his eyes on the ball. As we'll see here, well, slowed down, it looks a bit worse than it was, but Buddha knew he either had to take the mark or stand his ground.
I would have thought it was 50.
You would, Kep? Okay.
Once you take the mark, you're not allowed to be crunched in any shape or form, and there was certainly time delay there. Buddha Hocking from right on 50. The distance a bit of a concern. If he pushes it right for a behind.
If you frame by frame it, it was a little bit late, but in the pace of the game, oh,
seemed to be quite a gap distance, wasn't there, when from the period of time he actually took the ball until Ange Christou closed on him.
I just reckon, boys, if Geelong are going to win this game, they've got to move Ben Graham up forward now. I reckon you've got to win the game. You've got to get March inside 50. You've not got no one down to take March. Move Graham in your forward line.
And he has played well up forward on a couple of occasions, Doug.
Yeah, he has, Kev.
And there's Ronnie Byrne and Franchina having words again.
It's a possibility. I mean, you need someone to kick goals down. It's a long kick. He can take a mark. There's an opportunity there for him maybe to go forward.
The frustrating thing about that report too, just backtracking a second, is it's not going to achieve much, is it?
No,
those sorts of little stupid things, and it's unfortunate.
Well, the Blues have dominated the game, Paul, but they just lead by 20 points. So that might just give the Cats a bit of heart. 5-3-33 plays 1-7-13. So it's 8 scoring shots apiece. Koutafidis and Milburn. Been opponents all day. Spriggs is quick and clever. From 60 metres out, tries to drill it. It's a poor kick. It's a poor option. He virtually went short to a contest. Bradley happy to take the ball back over the line and consider behind.
He's good, Bradley. He's just he's smart. He gets to contests all the time.
Yeah, he's good.
And he's so sure. He won't let you down. He makes good decisions.
He'll kick out now for you.
Straight up the centre of the ground, he's got Porter or Koutafidis. Koutafidis from the back edge of the centre square. The Blues pump the ball forward. Sanderson. So reliable across half back. Finds Milburn. They try to set it up by hand. Murphy rockets the ball to Spriggs and lost his footing. Taken by Lappin. Must keep your feet. Koutafidis goes short. Finds Houlihan. A lot of possessions, not much distance covered. Houlihan is at half back. Just waiting for that loose player and finds Ratton. 9 possessions and 2 marks to Bradley. So the 2 on-ball guns combined. Silvani, some pushing and shoving. Silvani's got it, sets it up, and Koutafidis will kick a goal. He's missed it. Can you believe it?
Yes. Well, you can't.
Can you believe it?
It's an amazing miss.
How could he possibly miss from there, Koutafidis? Look at this.
Well, a lot of people argue that you kick through the ball regardless of where you are, how close you are.
Even when I saw it on replay, I still thought it was a goal.
Gee whiz. I saw one yesterday here. I think it was Essendon and Richmond. I can't recall what player it was. He was about 10, maybe 5 metres out, missed it. I can't remember. It was a Richmond player. It'll come to me a bit later on, but he missed it 5 metres out.
Gee whiz, I'd like to see that one again. Kuda Feedies.
Well, it's a good ruck set up there. Porter held his opponent.
Lappin.
King.
Looking for Whitnell. Chipping into Sanderson. He's gone. Caught. He was off. Clark. And that man Kuda Feedies. He's had it 9 times and taken 3 marks now. He's starting to impose himself on the game. Camporelli, front of the pack. Murphy has been handy. Raleigh under pressure. The Cats. They have to retreat and backtrack. Finally, the ball tumbles forward. Houghton did well to trap it. Christou pumps the ball high. Lappin, beaten by Porter. Now he's played on. Bradley was pulled off the ball. Spriggs. Those dancing feet squeezed up on the boundary line. Chapman has come into the side today. A late replacement. Raleigh was caught in 2 minds. It was smothered off the boot by Ange Christou. Mensch does well.
Well done.
Chance now for the Cats. Clark can run with the ball. Clark can run with the ball. Clark can kick a goal.
Oh, it's a very positive sign for the Cats, that move forward. A little bit of indecision on the half-back line where Porter seemingly took the mark. But they waited, they held. Smothered off the boot there. But a good mop-up here.
Good Mensch.
And Mensch has turned inside, as he should do, look inside. And Clark was free, and that's a good finish. Well balanced and just cleared. Marcus Baldwin did his part of the job there in holding Manton out. And a much-needed goal brings him closer.
Cats drag it back to a 14-point ball game.
It's amazing they're this close, KB, still. Amazing they're this close still.
Well, King is certainly giving the chance for the Cats to have first option of the ball. Milburn wobbles the ball inside 50. Ronnie Burns. The chase is on. Couldn't take control. Boundary throw in, 65 metres out from the Cats' goal.
He's well on top fish at the moment. Stephen King on Mark Porter. Mark Porter's only had the 4 touches with 3 hit-outs. King with 10 touches, 2 marks and 4 hit-outs. So I think King's certainly on top of Porter at this stage.
Franchina, we can see then, just worrying Ronnie Burns. Camporelli on the burst, backs himself in. Tumbles a kick forward. They've got the numbers, the Blues. They need a kind bounce. It didn't come. Tied up on the front edge of the centre square.
Well, it was a good kick to space. It probably wasn't pinpoint or perfect, but it was to space. Blues had a chance to run to it, but a bad bounce, and we've got a bottle up here at the half forward. So Cats saved, I think, just by the quirk of the shape of the ball.
The ball up 60 metres out from Carlton's goal. King, it's a quick kick. Been marked by Lappin. It touched off the boot, I think.
Touch on the boot there, KB. Carlton has yet to use the interchange bench. Fletcher's still on the bench for Vola, Mansfield and Massey still on the bench. No changes yet for Carlton.
Goes against the trend a little bit.
Bit
of
unusual,
football,
it is a bit unusual.
high rotation.
Yeah. 5-4-34 the Blues, 2-8-20 the Cats. Spriggs,
well done.
Fine young player. Penetrating kick, it was looking for Baldwin. That's where they need a crummer. Chapman closed quickly.
It's a free.
And he's got the free kick.
Well, deliberate.
Looking for Scholl. Got his hands on the ball. Mensch screws it around the corner. What a kick. Great goal to David Mensch.
Well, they just manufactured something there, and in the end it turned out to be a very special goal. David Mensch, who hasn't been really a dominating forward for the Cats, has just come up with something very, very good there. The setup there was to Scholl, of course. He didn't quite take the mark, but a good crumbing goal. Well, one of the biggest fellas on the ground. That's a fantastic goal. And now the Cats, well, they're within 8 points.
Well, Well, the Cats now within 8 points. He's killing him, Stephen King. Milburn to Ronnie Burns. Kilpatrick. Edge of the centre square. Hume got the bounce he wanted. Camporelli. Danger here for the Cats. Loves to run with the ball. Clark did well.
Well done.
But good enough to get the ball to Lappin.
That was just fantastic football, and I know it looks simple when you're watching from the outer or watching on television, but what Camporelli did there was just hold the ball long enough till the right option presented itself, backed his skills. He was actually under a lot of pressure in the end when he actually executed the skill, but still managed to find his target. He's a fantastic player.
He's kicked 9 goals for the season, 48 metres out. Lappin. He's a dead-eye Dick.
Certainly is. He's very dangerous, isn't he, Doug, around goal? He doesn't miss too many, young Lappin.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Fish. And Geelong are working very hard in their midfield. They're really having a feeding and track. Young Spriggs has lifted his work rate. He's been pretty good for the Geelong side. Kilpatrick's trying very hard. No doubt about it. Stephen King certainly on top of it. Great hands there across here to Scotty Camporelli. Couple of bounces, looks up. I thought he was going to go long. Changed his mind in mid-flight just to chip the ball across there to Lappin. Terrific.
Blues by 14 points. Just over 9 minutes left in this second quarter. Stephen King, 12 possessions today. And Porter, his opponent, has had 4. The intensity of the Cats has certainly gone up in this second quarter as Milburn pumps the ball back. Mensch was forced under the ball by Beaumont. Houghton did well. Pitched by Kilpatrick through the centre square. It's a long bomb. Hocking using his body in front, off hands. Kept alive in the pocket. Chapman.
Well done.
To Murphy, smothered off the boot by Ange Christou for a toss back in.
Well, it was very good, clean hands at his feet. Glenn Kilpatrick through the centre there and pushed it long and deep. But the Hocking-Mackay matchup, Mackay's too strong in the one-on-ones. Very wily.
Porter and Mensch. Koutafidis has been coming over the top like that all day. With that wonderful touch. See the ball finally over the line for another toss back in.
It's just fantastic to watch.
He's been floating over the top at those boundary throw-ins. It's obviously a tactic by the Blues.
Certainly a set play. See if they try it again.
It was held out of the contest that time by Chapman. Camporelli. He was looking for Hume. He found Hickmott. They go wide. Camporelli is a hard runner. Their best and first winner from last year finds Mackay. Whitnell wants it in front. Graham's got to close with a big fist. Does it well. Whitnell thought he may have been held. We've got a boundary throw in.
He works hard, doesn't he, Camporelli? I mean, gee whiz. His opponent is Raleigh. Raleigh's had 8 touches. Here's the replay. Nah, let it go. Not much in that one.
Happy with that, Doug?
Yeah, not much in that, Kev. Gee whiz.
Blues by 14 points. Goal kickers today. Whitnell's got 2 singles to Silvani and Lappin, Houlihan and Houghton. And for the Cats, Clark, Mensch and Baldwin. Sanderson to Harley.
Whoops.
He's lost it. Been pinched this time. Set up by Craig Bradley, and Hume must kick a goal. Bangs it through. Wonderful interception by Craig Bradley.
It certainly was, KB.
And the General has set it up.
Well, he's been involved in so much, Craig Bradley, in this game. See his follow-up there. He's out of the contest, but he's back in it. He tracks the ball so well, and his vision inside was impeccable there. I mean, that's, looking at his stats, that's his 13th touch for the game. And his magic when he had the ball in his hands. He rarely turns it over.
Blues by 20 points. Craig Bradley, 13 possessions and 4 marks. He's the general of this Carlton side. There he is, the tackler. Houlihan, beaten by Kingsley. He's been good since coming on at quarter time. He's given a bit of life to the forward line. Raleigh to Mensch, shovel the ball out. Corey under pressure, Chapman. Sidetracked. King from 50, high ball. Baldwin going back with a flight. The Blues take control. Quick hands to Camporelli, to Bradley. This is where the run comes. Beaumont. They keep running to space, the Blues. Freeborn went to Christou. So Ange, can we hear the big whoosh? Silvani in front, second grab not there. Lappin, so dangerous at ground level. Freeborn from 50, kicks a goal.
Too easy.
So all of a sudden they've just thrown off the shackles.
They've certainly done that, KB. That's 3 quick goals, and
They got within 8 points.
They certainly did, and well, they steadied. Carlton have been threatening, haven't they, Doug, for some time in this match to take it by the scruff of the neck, and it's starting to happen.
Too easy fishing it, really, for them that stage.
It's a bit easy. It's
just King's dominated these ruck centre bounces. King has dominated these centre bounces. Just watch this.
6.5 minutes left in this second quarter. 8-4-52. It's a 26-point lead. Cats did drag it back to 8 points. Spriggs, like the way he attacks the ball. He's had it 9 times today. Scholl. Cats need a goal just to lift the confidence. Manton, the crummer, gets support from Christou. So loose players out wide. Beaumont. He gets the hurry up from Bradley. The loose player is Porter. Had it and lost it. Look at the good hands there of King. On the rebound, can this hurt the Cats? They've got the numbers. Houghton from half back. Raleigh's got to go.
Oh, good effort.
Yep.
Clark kicked a great goal in this second quarter. Murphy to Raleigh from centre wing. Smothered off the boot by Porter. They've done that a couple of times today, the Blues. Camporelli. Koutafidis. It was so easy for Kuta then, and Camporelli slips as he kicks the ball. Sanderson to Clark, who loves the run. Lappin closed quickly. King. It's been magnificent for the Cats. Tries to keep the ball alive. He needed support at ground level, and Freeborn pumps the ball back. Looking for Whitnell, hit it hard. Buddha Hawkins in front. That was a heavy crunch, but he bounces to his feet. Great hands from Lappin. Camporelli, a shrug of the shoulders, keeps it alive to Hume, to Lappin. Some dancing footwork. Trips the light's fantastic. Belts the ball back towards Silvani. He got an ugly bounce. Taken away by McGrath. Still alive for the Blues. Kilpatrick weaved his way out of trouble. McGrath onto the left boot, looking for Milburn. A brave attempt. Close to the line, put straight back over the line by Kingsley.
And we all know that passage of play. It was very friendly between both sides. Some pretty clever football there. But we've got a neutral situation now, the boundary throw, and Minch is pretty good in these situations.
Hickmott went in hard. He wants a free kick. Spriggs is on the bottom of the pack. Ball up.
He's been good, Spriggs, for the Cats. We've mentioned King, but Spriggs has been pretty good himself today.
Just needs a little bit more support, doesn't he? It's just in his second season. Mensch went early. Did it well. Hurried kick. Kingsley playing in front. He's had it 5 times. 6 for the quarter. Ronnie Burns. Speaking of Spriggs. To... Oh, what a grab! Stephen King, magnificent. He's had it 14 times today. He's taken 3 great marks and pumps the ball deep. And Ange Christou forces it through for a behind.
It's a shame, you know, KB, because I really thought after all his good work, you could just wait to try and set something up. It was going to be difficult to see the mark. Look at this. He's hooked that in.
Terrific.
Well, he's playing like a man possessed today, and it's fantastic to watch when he's on song.
Well, the All-Australian ruckman and Milburn from behind has been paid the mark. And he finds Kingsley, who looks pretty talented, doesn't he?
Well, he does, no doubt about that, KB.
If you kick 6 goals on debut, you've got to have a bit of ability, don't you?
Absolutely.
And he's taken 3 marks. He's been okay. There's King where once again. You've got to kick this goal, doesn't he? Simple as that.
You know, King is the highest possession getter on the ground at the moment. 9 kicks, 6 handballs, 3 marks. It's an enormous game he's playing. He needs to be able to sustain it, maintain it, if Geelong have got any chance. And more so, this young Kingsley needs to convert this opportunity.
Got to kick it, Fish. They need some more marking down their forward line. Bourbon struggled in the air. See, Mooney's only hasn't taken a mark either at this stage.
Running his first game of the season. He's come off the bench in this second quarter. And he's missed. So a wasted opportunity for the Cats.
Houlihan has come off and Fletcher's come on for the Blues. So
first change made at 25-minute mark of the second quarter.
And Christou to bring the ball back into play. Well done by Porter. Magnificent play. Swept on by Bradley. He's looking for Silvani. Here he comes. Couldn't take it. Strong play by McGrath. Gives you 110%. Milburn was all tied up. Spriggs is caught. Good enough to get the handball away. McGrath runs hard out of defence. Sets it up and finds James Raleigh inside the centre square. Wobbles the kick forward. And Porter takes a good low diving mark. Camporelli just weighing up his options. He goes wide to Franchina. He's playing on Ronnie Burns, has been reported for what looks like a striking charge. Harley shrugged off the tackle.
Shocking kick again.
They're letting themselves down, aren't they, with their kicking into the forward line.
Beaumont says that's the way it's got to be done. Finds Hume to Camporelli. To Ange Christou. Camporelli's had it 15 times. And Christou finds his partner in crime in McKay. Too far out to score. Silvani's in the square. The lead is on from Whitnell. Here comes Cooter. Was on the stretch, couldn't take it. Sanderson cleans up and just bangs it back inside the centre square. Has been marked by Houlihan. Can it open up for the Cats? Through the hands that time of Kingsley.
That was clever.
And the whistle has gone. And the free kick is going to Beaumont.
Would you agree with me that I almost feel like Ange Christou's wound the clock back a little bit here today? He's playing some wonderful football.
Been good. No,
here's a replay there.
Let's throw in the ball.
Bit of a scoop out.
Franchina, and he finds Lance Whitnell. Really found some touch today, Lance Whitnell. It's been all over the ground. That kick is an absolute shocker.
Disposal both sides.
Picked up the pace today. He's taken 7 marks, Lance Whitnell. McGrath will go short to Houlihan. He's got the loose player in Corey. He's been ignored. Houlihan. Side tracks to Harley. Finds Ben Graham. So loose players out wide for the Cats. Milburn, front edge of the centre square. Another shocking kick. Corey finds Spriggs. The Cats are going a long way home.
Sure.
And the big fist there from Houghton sees it over the line for a boundary throw in.
By the time they push it forward, they're outnumbered. I mean, Carlton just pushed back. It must be so frustrating.
Paul, they've had 5 marks in their forward line between Kingsley, Bourbon, Mensch and C. Mooney. They just got to get the ball in quick.
Well, they're not being helped much by what's going on downfield. It's a half-time siren goes.
Around the world in 80 days. So the Cats siren has sounded to end the first half here at the MCG. And at half-time, the Blues, 8-4-52. Lead by 24 points, the Cats.
So, well, the changes are being swung. Mackay has gone to Joel Corey, which is an interesting matchup. So Hocking's
on the bench.
On the bench.
Start of the third quarter, the Blues by 24 points. Ratton, so good in that first half. He won a lot of the ball. 9-10 possessions, as we see Clark. Pumps the ball back inside 50. There was clever play that time by Mensch. Didn't quite come off. And we've got a boundary throw in.
He wasn't having a shot, was he, Doug?
Oh, I don't know. Who was the last player to do that? Alan Jakovic, I reckon, years ago, did that here at the MCG. Kick one over his head like that.
Boundary throw in, good 60 metres out from goal. King, outstanding for the Cats in the first half. Corey goes to ground. Ange Christou finding some form today. And McKay just hugging that boundary line. Lappin, ball still alive, pushed over by Houlihan.
The old wise heads of Carlton, they gain some very professional yardage, don't they, with their disposals, and it could easily have been rushed over or walked over the boundary line there, but they're 50 yards further up the ground.
Koutafidis pushed out of the way that time by King. Sanderson's all tied up by Lappin. The ball up on centre wing. Camporelli 15 possessions, Bradley 15, Koutafidis 12, Lappin 12. For the Cats, 15 to King, Spriggs 13, Kilpatrick 12 and Murphy 11. James Raleigh with 12, and Milburn playing on Koutafidis has 16. There's Milburn being dragged off the ball. Clark, a pretty good goal in that second term, ran straight at the goals, backed himself in, and the kicking has been shocking here today. Ratton, rare for him not to hit a target. Manton to Bradley, had him under a lot of pressure as Houghton stands and delivers and pumps the ball wide. It's been taken by Mansfield. Straight off the interchange bench, playing against his old club, looking for Silvani, forced under the ball, but too much carry. Houlihan, happy to see the ball over for a boundary throw-in.
Looks like Ben Graham Fish still is at centre half back, picking up Lance Whitnell. I thought maybe in this quarter at some stage, if they need to kick some goals, they get some marking power in their forward line, he may be the man to go forward.
There's Lance Whitnell. 7 marks and 8 possessions to Lance Whitnell today. He's booted 2 goals. Sanderson, McGrath has been out of favour this year, trying to re-establish himself. And the ball was punched away from Baldwin for a boundary throw in again. Justin Murphy on screen, 11 possessions in the first half.
It'd be reasonable to argue that coming to the football on a day like today, you'd expect a pretty high-scoring, free-flowing game, but as it stands, we have only 11 goals kicked, and we're early in the third quarter.
It's a scrambly game in this third term. Spriggs is caught. No side able to really get clean possessions. 8-4-52 the Blues, 3-10-28 the Cats. Lance Whitnell's booted 2 goals, the only multiple goal kicker on the ground. Milburn had it and lost it. He wants a free kick, he'll get a ball up.
Clever footy. So often we see this situational scenario early in quarters, Doug, where it's a bit of an arm wrestle, it's a little bit ugly, but all of a sudden, out of the blue, a quick goal is kicked, and well,
the Cats need a fish, I think. The Cats certainly need the first one, I reckon.
Spriggs took it away from Koutafidis.
He's gone.
Runs into a roadblock in the shape of Stephen Silvani.
Oh, lucky.
Stephen disappointed.
He's showing no signs of a groin injury today. He's been tremendous. He's moving freely.
Started at full forward. Stephen Silvani has kicked a goal.
Yeah, he wrapped him up there.
King getting first touch of the ball. Hickmott goes to the ground. Scholl, one of their veterans, trying to set it up. Houlihan through the centre square. Getting back, it's Porter. So a transfer of play. Ratton finds McKay on the half-back flank. Mansfield, that lead's been ignored. Short to Lappin. He's won a lot of the ball, 13 possessions. Koutafidis is going to be the target. Milburn closed quickly. Chance for Houlihan. Porter dragged down, going in hard. That time was Mansfield. And again, a ball up 45 metres out from Carlton's goal.
I was just taking the liberty of tracking Bradley's and Ratton's run just over the last minute or so, and they actually haven't stopped to a walk yet.
Just keep running,
just keep jogging on the spot and moving to the next contest.
Gee, Koutafidis is always the third guy up in the ruck contest, isn't he, for the Blues today? So they must have some respect for Stephen King. Scholl. Centering kick. Didn't really hit a target. It's a loose ball. Clark crashes into Camporelli, who's tied up that time by Bradley. Spriggs comes away with the ball, but the free kick is going to Carlton.
Well, with Ronnie Burns leading the centre of the ground, you've got Bradshaw running out that way. That kicked the ball over his side of his body. He led the wrong way, Ronnie Burns then. Made hard work for Scholl.
Koutafidis, big kick. Bradley in front, make that Whitnell. Taken away by Clark.
Oh.
Shocking kick. Freeborn dropped an absolute sitter. Comedy of errors. Harley. Kilpatrick.
It's frightening, this.
Still can't hit a target. Full-time footballers, Doug. Spriggs takes him on, but can't get past Bradley. Magnificent play by the veteran. Franchina will pounce on it. Sidesteps. Finds Hickmott. Run down. Good enough to get his kick away. Clark. James Raleigh, edge of the centre square. Manton, the big fist. Second effort. Cotton. Christou. Puts Lappin under a lot of pressure. Houlihan. Crunks into the ground. Freeborn's handball was intercepted. This is not nice. This is not pretty. Lappin comes away. Looking for Beaumont. Got him.
I think Fisher said before, I won't make a coach. I don't think I'd like to coach.
Oh, I don't say that, though.
No, but that last 5 minutes of play, it's been disgraceful, hasn't it, really?
Whitnell has got it on 50.
So you're only not coaching in a minute.
Oh, it kicks into the man on the bar.
Oh, no.
Well, makes sense we don't send this passage of play overseas on one of those highlight tapes.
Oh, Kev.
Might sit down later, Doug, and write a how not to book on this game, maybe.
I think we'll black it out.
I might go get a coffee and be back in 5, boys. Have a bit of a spell. And there's been shocking. I mean, there hasn't been a lot of pressure. Been unforced errors by foot and by hand on both sides.
Well, we've got 13 and a half minutes left in this third quarter, and there's been no score so far since half-time. Still 24-point lead to the Blues.
Neither sides look like scoring, to be brutally honest about it.
Oh, Fish.
They haven't even, nothing has led me to believe, or nothing's led me to suggest that there's been any pattern of play into the forward line. I mean, the endeavour's there, but certainly not the execution.
There's a lot of pressure at their, Fish. Both sides having a crack.
The sun's in their eyes, both ends of the ground.
So here's a chance for the Blues. Mansfield should kick a goal.
Yes.
Pops it through.
Well, as you suspect, the first goal that's come in the third quarter wasn't pretty, but it was effective. And Mansfield, the move to Mansfield in the forward line has paid early dividends, and well, he can be dangerous at both ends of the ground, Doug Hawkins, can Michael Mansfield, and with a fit body and an eager mind, which he's got, he'd be a good player for the Blues, but just getting under the guard there of Kilpatrick, and a goal makes it even harder for the Cats.
The Blues by 30 points. It's hard to see the Cats getting back because the play has been so poor today. But as we know, football is a funny game. Ratton to Franchina. Back towards Whitnell. One thing we know, he always plays in front. Sanderson from half-back. He's looking for Houlihan. Ange Christou has been very good today. He's had it 13 times. He's taken 3 marks. Harley squeezed up on the boundary line. Boundary throw in.
Well, it's just a situation where Geelong look like they're really holding steady on a real one-on-one game plan at the moment. They're matching up and running with their opponents, and maybe that's what's creating the scenario where we're not getting a lot of open, free-flowing footy.
Give Porter the tap. Ratton. Quick kick. Lappin. Always so dangerous. Murphy. Pulled his opponent off the ball. Has given away the free kick. Goes to Ratton. 15 possessions. Whitnell wants it into the pocket. Mansfield made the numbers. Hickmott right on 50. He's a thumping kick. He's a big kick. Hickmott kicks a goal.
Well, I'm sitting up here with the fortunate position to be able to see what options were available there to Hickmott as he's gone for that shot. And Koutafidis was.
But you don't need any options. You don't need any options. If you can kick it 55 metres, just kick the goal.
That's
all you can do now,
say.
Fish, is go back, bounce the ball in the centre of the ground, and we start again.
Well, I couldn't agree more, KB.
You don't want to keep looking for options all the time.
No, he's had a shot and he's converted, which is fantastic.
That's one of the problems with the modern day game. Everyone wants to be a playmaker. Everyone wants to give it off, give it off, give it off.
Well, Kent, they've had 9 goal kickers now, Carlton. Now they're 10 goals. They certainly are sharing the ball around a bit. But you're right, Hickmon, he's got the ability to kick those long goals, and he did it beautifully.
50 metres is not a long goal. Every player out on that ground can
should
kick
be
50 metres.
Yep.
Not necessarily accurately. So good on Hickmon. He backed himself in.
The Blues, 10-4-64. Cats, 3-10-28. 36-point lead, Camperelli with a touch of class. With the ball under the arm. Goes wide. On the stretch, that time was Lappin. Scholl. Can he set it up? Goes short.
Great kick. Oh.
Easy mark dropped. That was by Mooney.
Just come on too, Kev.
It's not good enough. Manton and Franchina. Camperelli. Still alive. Ronnie Burns. Spriggs.
Well done.
Kick a goal.
Great stuff.
Well played. Well, he's been one of their best players, David Spriggs. He's kicked his first goal today.
Certainly has been one of their best players. He's been a real spark for them. He and King can hold their heads very high. Spriggs has already had 17 possessions, a couple of marks, and that's his first goal for the day. But in Mooney's defence, as we see Spriggs finish off a very sharp goal here, that sun can be pretty savage this time of day over the stands. It may have impacted on him not executing that mark, but a much needed, to say the least, goal to the Cats.
The Blues by 30 points. David Spriggs has been one of their live wires today. He's had it 17 times. That was his first goal. Along with King, Stephen King. They are carrying the chances of the Cats today. Milburn also has been handy. Fighting hard on hands and knees. Harley. Speak of the devil, there's Spriggs again. Looking for Mensch. Bit too much carry on the ball.
Well done, Mensch.
Tried to kick it off the ground. Beaumont. Ripped off the ball that time by Corey. So the Cats may go up a cog. Ronnie Burns has got it. They need a spark. Maybe it's coming from Spriggs and King. And if this man kicks a goal, he will lift the spirits.
There's no doubt about that, KB. And just a man to do it too, Ronnie Burns. He has been held pretty well today.
16 goals for the season.
Should have 3 or 4 to his name if he kicks on the right side of the body.
Ronnie Burns will kick from just inside 50. He'll swing it back left to right, right to the line.
Great kick.
Kicks a goal.
Well, to say that just what the doctor ordered, Doug, is probably a gross understatement. Geelong really haven't looked like they're going to make an impression on this game, particularly in this quarter, but with 2 quick goals.
Good
as
tackle
you see the replay here.
Joel Corey, good tackle then.
Yeah, and Burns hasn't been able to get that metre on Franchina he's needed today. On that occasion, he did. A bit wrong-footed and a good finish. He's got to make the most of every opportunity he gets, as do all the Cats.
There's Ronnie Burns and Franchina. They've been at it all day. Ronnie Burns has been reported for what we believe is a striking charge against Franchina. That's his first goal. Massey is on and Ange Christou is off for the Blues.
Looks like Putter Hocking too has come on too, KB. Gone to the forward line, picked up by Massey.
Just under 10 minutes left in this third term. The Cats have dragged it back to 24 points. Did get out to 36. King. Just been too big for him today, hasn't he, Stephen King?
He's been very impressive. His positioning at these contests has been superb. And
Porter's been in very good form, but King's out-muscled him today.
Oh, he's come to play today, Stephen King, and his work rate around the ground's been phenomenal. And credit to him.
And again,
Spriggs. Geez, a young gun. Having a real crack for the Cats. They need support. Ratton concedes ground. The run comes from Houghton through the centre square. Lappin. And Harley showed some courage there, putting himself right on line from centre half back. There's a hit at target. Ben Graham, the skipper. Only 5 possessions today. Needs a lift. Scholl's caught by Hickmott. Putter Hocking goes to ground. Kingsley comes in hard. And he's given away the free.
A fair call on that occasion. I think Gary Hocking knew that options were few, so he had to try and keep it ugly, keep it in, but wasn't executed very well. So
Massey's just come onto the ground. He's got the free kick.
Well, they're all over him.
Silvani on centre wing, playing at full forward. Houlihan. So the Blues just sharing the ball around. Penetrating kick. Koutafidis was pushed out of the contest by Graham. Loose ball, Sanderson attacked it, tied up by Silvani.
Not one player inside 50 here for Geelong, inside their forward line. Every player is over the centre line here, centre bounce circle here.
I think it's going to try and shut down Carlton's avenues to goals. Yeah, there you go.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Straight kicking by the Blues, 10-4-64. The Cats 5-10-40. Blues by 24. Koutafidis has done a lot of the ruck work today. Corey hugs the boundary line. Kilpatrick takes the ball over with McCabe.
Well, Geelong let Brisbane last week get a bit of a hold of them, and credit to them, they're hanging in there against a pretty strong Carlton lineup who are in pretty good touch.
Yep.
It's a war of attrition for them. They've mentally got to hang in there and give themselves a chance, give themselves a look at it in the last quarter.
Hickmott finds Houlihan. Bradley has won a lot of the ball today. Massey, fresh legs onto the ground. Lappin is a real live wire.
Well, that was just a good kick to his favourite side. Lappin could run with the flight of the ball and took an easy mark in the finish, but it was just Chris Massey has just sat it up very well there. And
they just look, every time they go forward, Carlton, they look like getting a goal, where Geelong on the other hand, they seem to battle and do it very hard to get their score. They just do it easy, the Carlton side.
Well, he's a noted finisher, Lappin. Can he drag it back? Pushes it right.
Gave it a bit of air, didn't he, KB? He sat it right up. Maybe he ran too close to the man on the mark, but he's got a fair kick on him for a little bloke, Matthew Lappin. He's not a big man, but he backs himself from 50.
He's a bit taller than you think, isn't he?
Yes, he was about just shy of 6'1".
6'1", is he? 6'1", is he?
He's a bit taller than you think, Matthew Lappin. Not much of him, but he's got those long arms. Scholl from half back. It's a poor kick. Porter's going to take a mark.
That's his fourth for today. He marked so well last week, but he just hasn't really got to or presented himself as quite as well today.
Whitnell on the stretch. We've got Lappin around about 6 foot, 183. So he plays tall.
Too far out here, when he Whitnell, you'd imagine.
No, he'll try and set something up.
Too far out the score, I would think. Yeah. He's a good 60 metres, 65 metres. It's a centering kick. It's a great kick too. Maybe the sun got in the eyes there of Houghton. It was a wild handball. Sanderson pinched that time by Ratton. Spriggs. And the young man puts it over the line on the full.
Can I just say something about Whitnell there? He actually called in Houghton from the half-forward line there and told him to run into that hole. And I think that's, he's renowned for it.
Well, he dropped an easy mark, but did look like maybe a bit of sun might have got in his eyes. Hickmott has kicked a big goal already in this third term.
Should he have a shot here, KB, or try and set something up?
Have a shot, I reckon. If no one's on, have a shot.
Well, he'll get the distance.
Yep, no doubt about that.
And he has a very good kick.
He is. Lovely kick. Look at that.
Straight through the centre.
I asked the question because he was the same man who kicked a great goal from 50 out before. He's a very good kick for goal, this Adrian Hickmott.
Well, you play to your strengths, don't you?
Absolutely. And
if you're a very good kick like Hickmott is, and you're well within kicking distance, as I said before, all you can do is put it straight through the centre, go back and bounce the ball, and we'll start again.
Point being, if a player on the boundary line on such an acute angle has a decision to make, if you are a good shot, go for it.
Favola is on for the Blues. Stephen Silvani taking a break. Most of us were pretty surprised he actually took his place today in the side.
Yep.
Dean Rice didn't play in the reserves, and we thought he was coming in, but he's injured. And Stephen Silvani has taken his spot today, and he did line up at full forward and kicked a goal in that first term.
Spriggs again.
Blues now by 31 points. Spriggs just about playing a lone hand midfield. He's had it 20 times. Menches the target. Corey, young man's tried hard in this third term. Mooney feeds the ball off. Ronnie Burns pushes it left. Through for a behind.
Still just struggling down their forward line, Geelong, to see someone take a mark.
Struggling.
Taking a mark.
The forward line's been
Forward line's
non-existent.
been shocking, hasn't it, Kev? I mean, you've got to make a change. You're here to win the game. I know quite well. I've said it a couple of times now about Ben Graham, that there's Levin having a bit of a spell here for Carlton. Talking about Ben Graham again down at centre half back. I just think you're going to take the punt and maybe push him forward.
I like that idea,
goals.
Doug.
You do, kick
we
it
know
for
he
goals.
can. No, I'll kick it long to him. He can take a big grab and he's a thumping kick.
Yeah.
I think it's worth a try for the Cats. Bradley between fullback and centre half back. 20 possessions, 6 marks. To McKay. The old partnership. The run comes from Beaumont. That raking left foot and Favola straight onto the ground takes an easy mark. Now here's a big kick, Brendan Favola.
And this is all the Cats need, is for this young man to come on the field and take a game by the scruff of the neck, like we know he can, Doug.
Fish, his pace is going to worry McGrath, I reckon. He's a little bit quicker than Steve Silvani, up 5 metres.
Fresh legs.
And look at this loose player, and it's Hickmott, who's proving a dangerous player. He's beat at 2 goals in this third quarter, going for goal number 3.
Well, this game is, at the moment, just in the balance or in danger of being a bit of a blowout. And Geelong got to be very careful how they play out the quarter. There's some
6 goals, Fish now down.
4 minutes left.
45 metres out.
Make it 7 down.
He's banged it through.
Well, it's a very important time on period, isn't it, Doug, for the Cats? I mean, they find themselves in arrears by 6 goals now. They don't want it to be any more.
6 goals down, right, yep. 6 goals down. You're dead right about that. Hickmott, I think he's kicked 3 in this quarter from a half-forward flank. Yes, Kev, yeah, 3 goals. Here's the replay. Good set up here. Vavola's a big problem for McGrath, particularly over 5 metres. Favola, as you said, Fish, fresh legs on the ground. McGrath's not that quick over 5 metres. Should be a good test for him in that area.
Adrian Hickmott has booted 3 goals, all coming in this third term. He's got 12 possessions for the game and 2 marks. And they lead by 36 points. Shoal runs into a brick wall and they'll ball it up inside the centre square.
Well, you've got to like that about Brad Shoal, Doug. He's always having a go. He's straight ahead.
No doubt.
He might not always come up trumps, but he's a fantastic defender, a rebounding defender for the Cats.
100% player, and he always has a crack for you.
Just under 4 minutes left in this third quarter. Some pushing and shoving. Milburn came over the top. Freeborn was knocked off the ball by Ronnie Burns. I need a bit of magic from Ronnie today. Ratton to the half-forward line, and Favola again on the stretch. Sets it up to Whitnell. Beautiful kick.
Oh, no.
That might be 50.
Could it be? No. Well, that's what we're worried about. I mean, they've got another shot on goal here. And that's Whitnell's 10th mark for the match. Graham's had his hands full all day. Bomber Thompson persists with the matchup. There's the knock. That's pretty late.
That's late as
It might have been just the momentum also of Whitnell running into his path, and therefore they collided. So the umpire gave the benefit of the doubt. Whitnell bending it back, bends it back, kicks a goal.
Well, that's a fantastic goal by Whitnell. And 10 marks, 3 goals. It's been a great day out for him. He's probably wondering why a move hasn't been made. I mean,
no doubt.
But Ben Graham, the Geelong defence has been under siege, Doug.
Oh.
And Whitnell's covered a lot of ground, but still, you scratch your head. And this is his time on period that Bomber Thompson will just be praying up in his coach's box that his players can just close shop at least the next few minutes.
Three goals to Lance Whitnell. He's kicked a goal in every quarter. 83 plays 41. All of a sudden, it's a 42-point lead to the Blues. They led by 16 points at quarter time, 24 points at half time, and now threatening to blow this game away from the Cats. Fletcher, fresh legs on for the Blues. Hickmott, what a quarter he's had. 3 goals in this third term. Franchina to Bradley. The general will set it up. He'll concede ground. Back to Franchina. Short. Hume. The goal in that second quarter. Loose player, Hickmott, from one side of the ground to the other. And Massey is also fresh legs in this third quarter. He wants to go short. Look at this.
It's like Swiss cheese.
And Beaumont should have taken the mark. He was looking for a free kick. Graham chips it in short and finds Harley. His teammate Scholl was under, Clark was under a lot of pressure. The kick was a good one. He did find Scholl. Just lifted the arm just for a bit of protection. Edge of the centre square. Inside 50. McKay from behind will go the big fist. Ronnie Burns just couldn't quite weave his way through the big pack of Carlton players. And Franchina, the consummate defender, back over the line.
You know, I think Geelong is really missing today. Scarlett. He's been in good form as a defender.
Yeah, the big,
Just a bit worried about the forward line though, Fish.
Certainly is, no doubt about that.
You've got to have players who can kick you some goals, and down there at the moment, it just hasn't even looked dangerous today.
I think you're right with Scarlett. You probably can play him at centre half back on Whitnall.
Take Graham forward.
And then Graham. Yeah, no doubt about that. Fair point.
Well, the Cats fans will be looking for some answers and doing some praying, because their form over the last few weeks has been less than convincing, and today there hasn't been too many signs to suggest they're on their way back, apart from a couple of individual efforts.
Yep.
Koutafidis looking for Ratton. It was a good attempt. He's been caught high. Take the free kick. Well, they're looking at their 5th straight loss, the Cats. 13-5-83, the Blues. 5-11-41, Geelong. 3 goals to Lance Whitnall, 3 to Adrian Hickmott, and singles to Silvani, Mansfield, Lappin, Freeborn, Hume, Houlihan and Houghton. So they've been sharing it around. No multiple goal kicker for the Cats.
They've used their bench more aggressively in the second half, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
Into the second quarter and this quarter.
And the Cats got to play Freo over there next week, so good luck at the moment, the way they're going.
Houlihan. Side tracks to Massey. Koutafidis says, kick it to me. Just fancy taking a big grab. It was pushed out of the contest by Milburn, who actually did it well. The free kick has been awarded to McGrath.
They're going to go wide again.
Well, look at this scene.
No system.
Doug.
There's been no system down the corridor, or they're going to go wide.
Well, Carlton have been disciplined in both pushing back defensively set up walls and manning up the most likely options.
Clark.
And this is what happens.
Straight over the line on the full.
This is a consequence of Carlton's disciplined professional football, and now there's a lot of Geelong heads turning around. What do we do now? And let's lose Carlton players.
Koutafidis. Whitnall's keen to be the target. He's going to hit this pretty hard. Good play by Sanderson. Standing his ground. Just a few seconds left in this third term as Sanderson kicks the ball back. He's looking for Mooney, thumped away by Manton for a boundary throw-in.
Well, if you were in Bomber Thompson's position, Doug, I'd be suggesting that he may be looking to make some of those changes, maybe suggesting taking some risks in the last quarter. There's no use shutting shop.
No doubt, Fish, yeah. If you're going to play forwards, mate, get blokes up in the forward line and take
Yes, they'll have to take some risks in this last quarter. There's nothing to lose as the siren sounds. And the Cats trail by 42 points. A little bit of angst there at three-quarter time. A few tempers being a little bit frayed. But you've got to show it out on the field. 13-5-83, the Blues. 5-11-41, the Cats.
Yeah, a little bit of frustration there showing from the Cats, and well, justifiably so. They really would be frustrated by, apart from a couple of quick goals in that quarter, nothing too convincing about that turn. But the Blue Boys in fine touch, and it's, well, taken another step up in this third quarter and to put a bit more of a gap between the two teams. It's 42 points of difference in Carlton's favour. They go to the huddle, looking for some percentage. Three-quarter time, Carlton by 42.
Power in their forward line. Mooney and Baldwin are both on the bench. Both had no marks inside 50. Matter of fact, no marks of the game.
Well, we've got no multiple goal kickers for Geelong.
Not at all.
Need more of those.
Start of the last quarter, the Blues by 42 points. King against Porter. And Stephen King wins a lot of the ball out of the centre square himself. Koutafidis combines along with Fletcher and also Bradley. And they pump the ball inside 50, so danger signs here for the Cats. Scholl from McGrath. Milburn, been one of their better players today. He's had a pretty good duel with Koutafidis. goes short and finds Harley. Kilpatrick. They'll need some run. Raleigh inside 50. Mensch did a 360. Don't argue. Just forced his opponent off the ball. And Kingsley couldn't get there in time as it rolls through for a behind.
Ben Graham now has gone to centre half forward for the Geelong side, which is a good move by Mark Thompson.
Yes, they needed some changes. They've got to try and do something different, don't they? Something new. Big pack of players. Koutafidis goes to ground. Bradley just keeps on running.
He's great.
He's had a big game, 23 possessions and 6 marks. Camporelli goes short for Vola. Came off the bench in that third term. He set it up magnificently here to Freeborn, who's going to run in. Must kick a goal. Bounces it through. In fact, it was Hume.
Well, just a start Geelong didn't want, of course. And it said this game is in danger of opening up a huge wound here at the Cats. They've really just got to do something. But well, in this game so far, as we see Camporelli chip it across, Favola attacked the ball very well there. He's turned, good vision to find Hume, and had the time and space to run and settle. Tackles 46 Carlton, 20 Geelong. That's an amazing stat.
Sure.
Two goals to Darren Hume, 14 possessions and 4 marks. And not the start the Cats wanted. They trail by 48 points, make that 47. 89 plays 42. Freeborn, speak of the devil, to Ratton. Tries to pinpoint it. He was looking for Favola. McGrath. It'll be tough playing in defence today for the Cats. Ball just keeps being pumped down, and King. I think he's been great today, Stephen King.
No doubt about
Raleigh, Spriggs can carry his head high as well. Clark wins a hard ball. Spriggs, it's about his first mistake. A touch of the fumbles. Koutafidis, just with that real presence he's got on the football field. To Camporelli. Favola just dropped the sitter. Franchina, strong tackle by Favola. Just drives Tim McGrath into the turf.
I tell you, someone else who can hold the head high for Geelong, I think it's Tim McGrath. He's under a lot of pressure today. He hasn't been too bad.
He did well on Savani, no doubt about that, Fish. But the problem here with Favola, he's just a bit too quick over 5 minutes. McGrath has lost that little bit of pace over the last couple of years.
Now, it was an easy mark drop by Favola, but you can see the players being
Sun,
down
you're right,
being down the eastern end, of course. The sun is in your eyes here at the MCG. Spriggs,
well
the way he runs with the ball, runs his full distance to centre half forward. Porter to Hickmont. What a great third quarter he played, Adrian Hickmont. Booted 3 goals, real live wires. McKay goes wide, looking for out there. Freeborn's there as well. Mensch goes to ground. Christou is back on the ground. It's a ball up.
Well, there's been a considerably more amount of creative run from the Carlton players from behind out of defence too, Doug, today. It's you know, they've been relentless in that area, and they've got some rewards for it, but it hasn't been pretty sometimes, even for Carlton.
No, you're right there, Fish.
King and Porter. Murphy, a bit quieter in that third term. Bradley is looking for Houlihan. And Whitnell puts the ball back over the line on the full.
Just hasn't been, Fish, a high standard game in general. So
you can say that again.
It hasn't been a high
That's another statement. It's been one of the worst games we've ever seen.
I just want to try and pump it up a bit.
Clark inside the centre square. Spriggs is going to take him on. Runs to 55. Floats the ball. Looking for Mensch. Kicked off the ground by Buddha Hocking. Straight across the face of goal. Fletcher came on in that third term. Christou looking for Koutafidis. Pushed off the ball by Milburn.
It's hard to do.
That's been a good duel, that one.
Yeah, it has. 19
possessions to Milburn and 19 to Koutafidis. 5 marks to Kouta, 4 to Milburn. So I reckon that's just about a draw. Tim McGrath has marked. Might have to move him to the forward line.
Well, it's good running by McGrath. Fish, you just mentioned before that he's been, held his head up fairly high. He's done pretty well. Yeah, good work by McGrath to run for bowler down the ground.
Tim McGrath.
Kick the goal now.
He's only kicked 16 goals in his career. Yet to kick a goal this year. He's just playing his second game. McGrath from right on 50. It's starting to come back. He squeezed it home.
Oh, beauty.
Well, that's good. He's a team leader, Tim McGrath, as you said.
Yep.
It's only his second game back in the ones, and look, there's just a way about Tim McGrath goes about his footy that's very admirable. He's, as I said, he may have lost a yard, but and it can be found out in certain opponents. But if you get the match up right, he's a good player for the Cats. And well, it hasn't been an inspiring game of football, but it's good to see a bloke like Tim McGrath get a goal.
Well, I saw Jonathan Hay last night come all the way down from fullback, kick the first goal of the game for the Hawks.
Yeah.
And Tim McGrath's playing at fullback there. There he is, lining up on Favola and marking 50 metres out and kicking a goal. So you've got to rely on your fullback to kick you a goal.
You're in
get
trouble.
You back in the game. You're in a bit of strife. Thrown off the ball. It's a free kick and it goes to Chapman.
Didn't he come into the side, didn't he? I think it was Jason Mooney who didn't take his place in this team. So what's he had, Chapman? He had only the 6 touches. Kicked the goal.
It looked like it was there, Doug.
Yep, no doubt about that, Fish.
He's directly in front. He'll be shooting from just inside 50. 47 metres. Leans back.
Well done. Point.
And puts it through from puts it through from behind.
Well done, young fella.
Well done. Well, he scored.
He did.
Oh, dear. We've got to hand out the praise a little easier.
When you see the player after he's kicked the ball, Doug, leaning at a 45-degree angle, you get the feeling he's trying to bend it back.
Yeah, you're right.
Graham, not one of his better days today. Ratton to Bradley. They're great midfield, those two players. They just keep pumping the ball forward for the Blues. They give a lot of opportunities. Ratton's had it 24 times today. Bradley's had it 25. And Camporelli 20.
They're an amazing old guard, aren't they? And not that we want to look too far ahead, but Carlton have got a lot of work to do to replace them, that's for sure, once they do decide to give it away.
The Blues by 40 points. Camporelli, a centering kick, high ball. He's bowled over as he's kicked it. Big pack of players. King was there, got his hands on the ball. Scholl somehow just weaves his way out of trouble. That's better. Finds Clark, edge of the centre square. Measures the kick. Buddha Hocking. Onto that trusty left boot. It was a wonderful kick. He was looking for Kent Kingsley. Porter got his body in the way. Massey. Porter can't take control. They'll toss it back in.
i7sport.com.au, of course, for all the match stats from all the games from round 7 of football. Anything you need to know, i7 Sport.
14-5-89 the Blues. The Cats 6-13-49. Graham trying to take it out of the air. Fletcher to the half-forward line. And Whitnell not paid. Koutafidis just so strong. Houlihan. McGrath. Good support from Sanderson. Keeps the ball alive. Milburn rockets the ball wide to Kilpatrick. Edge of the centre square. Buddha Hocking again. That took some courage.
Good effort, Buddha. Yeah. Great effort. Play on.
Run in, and the goal has been kicked by Kingsley.
Well, that's great. Now, Buddha Hocking today.
So it was the free kick was paid,
Yes, that's
not
right.
the mark.
That's correct. So advantage was paid, and as a consequence, Kingsley's got a goal. Buddha Hocking, Doug, where do you think Buddha might be at with his football at the moment? He hasn't played a lot of the ball today. He's played predominantly forward, and it's been a pretty much a consistent aspect of his football this year. That's a great attack on the ball. That's what he's renowned for. It's trademark Buddha.
You wouldn't expect any less than that from Buddha Hocking, would you? And I think, you know, I've seen Geelong the last couple of weeks, and he's played mainly up in their forward line. Probably forward line, Fish.
Well, he's been a bit of an impact player this year, hasn't he?
Yes,
They bring him off the bench
Yep.
or start on the ground for a short spell.
Been a champion, hasn't he?
But he
over
could be
years?
dangerous up in the forward pocket, couldn't he?
Yeah, he keeps the ball in.
He's got good skills, which he's always had. We know he's going to attack the ball hard and just might give a little bit of heart to the forward line. Playing out of the forward pocket might help Ronnie Burns with a bit of physical play as well. Scholl leads Fletcher in the race for the ball. Puts it over the line for a boundary throw-in.
He's been another player too, Fish, I reckon, that can hold his head up fairly high. Brad Scholl, he's had the 18 touches, 3 marks. He's worked fairly hard as well.
Well, the Blues led at quarter time by 16 points, 24 points at half time, 42 points at three-quarter time. The Cats have dragged it back in this last term. They trail by 34. There's still 12.5 minutes left in the game. A couple of quick goals just might lift the spirits.
It's just difficult to, if you want to be brutally frank about it, it's really difficult to get any positives out of Geelong's game. As I said, apart from some of the individual performances, but as a collective unit, there doesn't seem to be the cohesion there that you'd expect or anticipate from the side. There's obvious quality and talent.
The skill level's been ordinary. I mean, the foot disposal today's been shocking.
Camporelli took it from Hickmott, just wobbles the kick forward. Marked by Clark.
That's a good decision. Go straight, long and straight.
It's kick to the tallest player for Carlton in Porter.
It's the most direct we've seen them for a little while.
Beaumont to Mansfield. Lappin slides in over the ball. Buddha-Hocking, a little bit of strength. And the ball up on the half-forward flank.
The reason I said it was a good decision, the option was on out wide laterally, but you continue to do that.
And the corridor.
You're going forward via the cape. It's sometimes important to look up, kick it to a pack.
But you've got to kick to the right side of the pack, don't you?
Absolutely. Execution
You can
wasn't
kick
right.
the ball long.
Was right.
You can kick the ball long, but you've still got to kick it to the right side of your teammate.
Absolutely.
That's the area where David Clark's a little bit harder in his game. His disposal at times by foot ain't that flash.
Shoveled out to Koutafidis, goes short. Bit too much carry on the ball, but Whitnall's got the free kick for a shove in the back.
I liked his game today. I've said it a number of times already, but he just looks like the Whitnall of old today. His movement around the ground has been tremendous.
Yep.
Ratton playing in front. Mansfield tied up by Kilpatrick. 14-5-89 the Blues, 7-13-55 the Cats.
Craig Bradley having a rare breather on the bench at the moment. His work rate, as it usually is, has been right up there today. He's played a very good game again.
25 touches, 6 marks, 3 tackles, Craig Bradley.
Lappin just shakes off his opponent. The kick has been marked by Graham. Handball, still didn't hit a target. Time and space for McGrath. Back to Ben Graham, the skipper. To Raleigh. Through the centre square to the half-forward line. Ronnie Burns is the target. The kick had far too much carry on it. Put Ronnie Burns under a lot of pressure. In the end, it was a poor kick. Lappin, the juggler, has got it on half-back. Freeborn wants it on the edge of the centre square. Koutafidis is going to be a target along with Beaumont. And Kuta took him out of the contest. Beaumont is looking for Camporelli. There's a good grab. David Spriggs, but the free kick is going to Camporelli against Corey.
Oh, he's brought that one.
Got the ball there, Fish, that one.
Well, it was under the pack. The incident happened, as you'll see here. Just prior to, he's dragged out. But Camporelli is a foremost master at accentuating some of that contact. I mean, and it's clever stuff. I mean, he's got a shot 20 yards out from goal, 20 metres out from goal, and
we'll see it again, Fish, pretty shortly, I reckon. We'll see that again.
Camporelli directly in front. The Blues by 40 points.
Well done, Scott Camporelli. He's gone forward for possibly a breather. The game is all but over in terms of who's going to win. It was
a good grab, wasn't it?
It was a great grab. It's a shame, actually. It's a shame that young fellow Spriggs has been a standout for Geelong today. But Scott Camporelli has done his normal job. 23-odd possessions, a goal. Irrepressible.
Ten individual goal kickers for the Blues today. Just under 9 minutes left. They lead by 40 points. Hickmott, 3 goals in that third term. Harley had it and lost it. Raleigh to Corey. Young man was all tied up. Raleigh did well. Shrugged off the tackle. Chapman to Scholl. We're under pressure with all of their possessions here. You can see the Blues just keep running hard. Then you find the turnover. Franchina will go wide. Hume made good ground. Comes inboard and finds Hickmott. Christou. Franchina, edge of the centre square to the half-forward line. Whitnell is always going to be the target. Second grab, third grab, he was held. So Lance Whitnell is having a big day. He's finding some touch.
Great kick.
And finds Beaumont.
That's fantastic.
10 marks today to Lance Whitnell. He's booted 3 goals.
This is where Lance Whitnell is very clever footballer. You can maintain control under pressure of the ball, and his recovery is good. Well, the umpire is in fantastic position there to call that. We can't argue with it.
Beaumont, 35 metres out. Casually kicks a goal.
Well, Fish, KB can make that 11-goal kickers now for Carlton. Just what annoys you, the fact it's just stood so easy. Here we are, we see the replay once again of the Harley-Whitnell contest for that marking there and on the 50-metre line. Kick was there. Beaumont just come down from the half-back line just too easy. I think his opponent was Houlihan, just gave him too much room on that occasion. You just got to be closer to your player. Simple as that.
The season is definitely falling away for the Cats. 5 straight losses. They trail by 46 points. They go west next week and play the Dockers over in Fremantle. That is a big game as far as their year is concerned. Dockers, of course, yet to win a game.
Yeah, you've got to win it.
But it's looming as an absolute danger game now for the Cats.
More than that, this was a crunch game today, and haven't been able to do anything about it. Look, they're missing some pretty important players. White's out, of course, Snell's out. Bizzle played in the 2s. He played well today, which is good news for the Cats. Scarlett, Mooney, Riccardi went down early, so got players to come back.
Yeah, fair call.
They're doing it hard.
Lappin kicks a high ball. McGrath can hold his head up high today. Murphy has been in and out of the game today. Just flashes today from Justin Murphy. Ronnie Burns being well held by Franchina to Scholl inside 50, and Graham is marked. Now, we know he's a big kick.
Just not enough movement.
Right from the edge of the centre square. Big kick.
Great.
Big goal.
Now, that's what you love to see. There's a handful of players in the competition that you just hope will go back and have a shot from 60 out. He's one of them. That's a fantastic finish here by Ben Graham. And Doug, you finally got your way, and your man's got a goal.
Yes, you've been.
Well, I've been
plugging that all day.
Yeah, I've been squirreling for him. I know that he's a terrific centre back and he's on Whitnell, but at the end of the day, you got to win the game. I reckon at times there, you maybe just got to take the punt a little bit earlier than Mark has. Mark Thompson, of course. Great kick then there by Ben Graham.
$61 to 101, so it's a 40-point lead to the Blues. They're led by 42 points at three-quarter time, so the Cats hanging in there in this final quarter. Harley to Milburn. He's really battled hard today. It's been a great duel with the Koutafidis. They've had 21 possessions apiece. Hume takes it over the line.
I'll just make an observation here. Craig Bradley came off the ground, I reckon, no less than 10 minutes ago. Has not taken a seat. He's strolled and patrolled the boundary line, either to say, hey, coach, look at me, or it's a
just
cool
cooling down.
Yep.
He's played well.
Murphy. Ronnie Burns put his teammate under a lot of pressure there in Houlihan. Franchina half kicked it off the ground. Murphy didn't really hit his target, and Clark. Scholl, touch of the fumbles. Franchina makes it a contest, then shovels the ball out to Lappin, but he's been pinged for it. Scholl, point of the centre square. Buddha Hocking. Again, that ball wasn't kicked in front of him. He had to run under the ball and take the ball out in front.
Here's a chance.
Had to stretch. It was too high. Through for a behind. I mean, if Buddha Hocking's on a lead, the idea is the ball's got to be in front so he can take 3 or 4 strides to mark the ball on his chest or out in front.
Let him run onto it.
No point if he's actually got a prop and jump in the air.
That's right. Yep.
Beaumont, centering kick to Massey. 5 minutes left in this game. Loose player, Ange Christou on the half-back flank. Mansfield is running hard. He's been ignored. Goes to his mate and Kudafides. I reckon every time Ange Christou gets the ball, pick up Kuda.
Oh, it's great tackle.
Buddha Hocking, forever in the contest.
Ooh.
The run comes from McKay from outside of 50. And Minch. Too tall for Camporelli. To Sanderson, needs quick hands.
Good kick.
Finds Houlihan. Time for think music. To Milburn, along with Springs and King, being their best three today. This is a good kick. King just needs a kind bounce. Couldn't get it. Stephen King wins the crumb. Ben Graham was asleep.
He was watching.
He was asleep.
Do you think so?
Because Stephen King won the ball. He was turning around. He wanted a handball at the same
Wake up there.
and he wasn't moving. He was just standing there. Chapman pulled off the ball. Murphy squeezed up on the boundary line, tries to keep it alive, still didn't hit a target. James Rowley goes to ground. He'll be pinged here. Comedy of errors for the Cats.
You don't think Ben Graham was caught by the fact that Stephen King ignored the front and square option give, and he's caught flat-footed just to be kinder to him, but
Favola.
didn't look great.
Jeez.
Spriggs, take a bow. Gee whiz.
Good.
Yeah, you're right.
He's had a real crack today, just in his second season. That's what they need down at Geelong, a bit of spirit like David Spriggs. Put yourself on the line, have a go.
Have a look at this, Kev. Oh.
Beaumont on the rebound. To Bradley. He's been warming up on the bench. Just for that kick to Camporelli.
He had a great game, Bradley.
He covered more ground on the boundary line
He has.
he has on the ground.
No, he's used the ball well today.
Marvel, absolute marvel.
He's used the ball, it's been terrific. A few of the Geelong players could just have a look at Craig Bradley, the way he's used the football. He's done it beautifully.
Well, Carlton, conversely to Geelong, who are obviously desperate needed the win, Carlton were also, it was a very important game for them. There's been a lot of very positive signs from them today. And that's something to take out of the game.
Camporelli, 55 metres. Got the distance, not the accuracy. Through for a behind.
And all those positive signs are from some of their good players. Whitnell's stood up. Silvani's come back and played a hand in the game. You know, they're on ball. The midfield is back working in sync, and it's just they're looking a little bit more ominous. Kudafides in form, 24 touches and 6 marks. It's some real good signs there for the Blue Boys. 2.5
minutes left in the game. Houlihan. Short. Chapman. Came into the side for Jason Mooney. Scholl. Change of direction. King's going to be the target. Big and strong in front. Second grab. Tries to claim the mark. And he's got it.
Gee, I'd like to see that one, KB, maybe again now. I thought maybe Trent Houghton may have got a bit of a punch to that one.
Oh, he might have, but the hand was there and pushed it up.
The Cats probably is missing young Peter Street too.
Street, the big tall ruckman,
can go into the centre square, enable King to go up forward. Looks like it was punched from Houghton from behind, wasn't it?
His hand was. I thought he got his hand to it.
Okay.
There's some justice
Stephen King kicks a goal.
There's a little bit of justice in football for Stephen King there. Get a goal for his efforts today, KB.
Well, Peter Street can go into the ruck and King can go up forward and he can be a dangerous player up there, but with no Peter Street, they're really struggling now for a backup ruckman.
They certainly are.
Here we are.
King's done a marvellous job. Well, there's a bit of both in it.
A bit of both there.
And benefit of the doubt goes to the man in front. And Stephen King thoroughly deserves the goal for his efforts today.
Well, the Cats are winning this last quarter. They trail by 42 at three-quarter time. They trail now by 34. 2 minutes left. King straight back into that centre bounce. Porter this time. Wins the tap.
At the end of the day, Kev, you can't win a game with having a multiple goal kicker.
I just reckon he could have reacted a bit quicker than that, Ben.
Yeah, maybe the ball's a bit lower. Had to bend down for it. Kev, you can't win a game against Carlton when you've got no multiple goal kickers. Here we are, single goal kickers. The Cats.
You look like a frustrated man, Doug Hawkins.
Well, it's frustrating for Mark Thompson trying to coach sometimes these guys that just make mistake after mistake. It's very hard.
Beautiful hands by Ratton to Lappin. And Kudafides. I'd pay the mark. He may have paid the shove.
Yeah, eyes went on the ball, Bill.
6 of one, half a dozen of another. Hume, loose player. They're just sharing it around now, the Blues. They've been well in control. They haven't really buried the Cats, though. Harley, DeCory tries to chip it towards Clark. Finds the ball over the line for a toss back in.
Well, Kudafiti's coming to this contest again. Looks like he'll have to take the ruck contest itself, but very clever strategy by Carlton today with those ball-ins. And there Geelong did it this time.
Spriggs, gee, he's got some pace, hasn't he?
For this stage of the game, that's impressive football by Spriggs.
A real ball carrier.
Open.
Kicks the ball out in front, but McKay made ground in front of King. This is where it's going to hurt the Cats because Favola is loose. He wants it into the pocket. Also Mansfield is pulled off the ball. He'll take a free kick. Whitnell plays on. They pay advantage and he rams it home. Four goals to Lance Whitnell. He's kicked a goal in every turn.
Well done, Lance. He's weathered the storm this year a lot because early in this part of the season it's been suggested and he was generally off the boil, but looks like he's back in touch, big Lance. It's great to see. And a good finish. 4 goals is a very good result for Lance Whitnell, and he's been a key element to Carlton's success today.
17-6, 108, 9-14, 68. So they drag it back to 40 points as King. He's been fantastic today, I reckon, Stephen King. He's battled so hard. Just a handful of Geelong players today putting up some sort of resistance. Throw in Stephen King, Milburn, Spriggs. Tim McGrath's been solid in defence. But they've really struggled to have some sort of cohesion, have they, up forward. The forward line has been really disappointing today.
Forward line.
They've really struggled to have any winner whatsoever. In fact, it's hard to even say they had a winner on the forward line today. McKay, big fist came from behind from Harley. Put up with strength, well tackled that time too by Whitnell. Raleigh tries to set up the Spriggs. There's a flick on. As the siren sounds, it's been a dark day for the Cats. They've lost their 5th successive game. The Blues have run out winners 17-6, 108. They've defeated the Cats by 40 points, 9-14, 68.